What's going on YouTube? X Blended by SkateX here. I was on Shriek the other day and I was looking through the deck lists and I came across a Gladiator Beast deck list that I thought was quite interesting. Gladiator Beasts haven't really been in the meta per se since I believe YCS KC they made a showing, but other than that they really haven't done anything. They're a little too slow paced, a little too controlled to be playing in the meta currently, where their other decks are extremely fast. But as some of you may know, Gladiator Beasts is one of my favorite decks personally, and I was happy to see that this deck topped, and I thought it was extremely different, and I kind of liked it. So this is the deck that I saw on Shriek, is the OCG list, and then I will show you the one that I decided to play in the R meta that I have on the other side. So let me just go through this real quick. One BLS. It seems pretty good. 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Prisma, 1 Stratos, 1 Bestiary, 2 Darius, 1 Equest, 2 Laquari, 1 Retiari, 1 Sangin, 3 Test Tiger. Those are the monsters. Magics are 3 Hero Lives, 1 Book of Moon, 3 Forbidden Lance, 1 Storm, 1 Reborn, 2 MST. Traps are 2 Bottomless, 3 Call of the Haunted, 2 Compulse, 1 Warning, and double Trench Tribute. Now, first glance, you can see the monster count. It doesn't necessarily make playing BLS easy, but it's trying to incorporate that big boss monster in a deck where you have to take multiple monsters, combine them to make your normal boss monster. Granted, the only dark monster we have is Sangin, so in the extra deck, they put in a sandwich so you can activate Prisma's effect, pitch Sangin, and then there's your Dark in the Grave. Plus, Gladiator Beast Gazaris is also a dark monster, and you're bound to get one of those in the graveyard, possibly. So the only confliction that I found with this deck was it's hard to get BLS, and I feel like it's going to be too much of a dead draw sometimes because of the fact that there's a low dark monster count. So I decided to change that up in my build. Some other critiques that I have about the deck were, let's see, no Dark Hole in the main deck. I can understand that. You're trying to play GBs, you're trying to maintain field presence with your monsters, because as long as you have a GB live on board, you should be okay. Granted, you're not playing Chariot in this build, so you know you're not having to set Chariot and wait for him to activate an effect or something like that. But you're still trying to keep a GB alive, so then you have options. You know, kill back rows, grab a monster back, stuff like that. No Murmillo I thought was a little different, just because monster destruction in this deck isn't necessarily big, besides Gazaris, of course, which has the chance of being Veilered. So, you know, I feel like Murmillo would be a good option in the deck. I think it's just one of the one-of GBs that you should play always, that Bestiary, you know, Retiari. It's playing 3 Call of the Haunted, which I agree with completely, because you're playing 3 Prisma, so you can pitch off something for Prisma, flip Call, you know, stuff like that. Somebody could MST Call, you could have Sangin in there, you know, Sangin Search for Test Tiger or Effect Veiler, so fits in very well. Sangin fits in very well in the deck as well, especially with the Veilers. And then he decided to side D-Prisons over maining D-Prisons in the deck, because some of you may know GBs is usually a heavy magic and trap lineup. I'm okay with the siding of the D-Prisons, just because Insectors are so everywhere, you want everything to be chainable as possible. So that's just the critiques that I have for this deck. So this is their version. And then I went and created my own version, and that would be this version. There's not a huge amount of differences in this version, except for the one main big difference. Obviously, I'm playing Tour Guide in this version. We have access to getting Tour Guide. Tour Guide adds dark monsters to the count, so we can still play BLS. So I feel like it's good. A good opening turn would go Tour Guide Sangin. Obviously, you can set up for plays that way. You can set up for Prisma plays. You can set up for Gazaris plays. Stuff like that. So my current version on Dueling Network is 1 Blackluster, 2 Veiler, I'll talk about that in a second, 3 Prisma still, 1 Bestie, 2 Darius, 1 Equest, 2 Laquari, 1 Murmillo, 1 Retiari, 1 Sangin, 3 Test Tiger, 3 Tour Guide. Spells are 3 Hero Lives still, Book of Moon, 2 Forbidden Chalice, 2 Lance, 1 Storm, 1 Reborn, 2 MST, and the traps are 2 Call, 3 Compulse, 1 Psalm, and 2 Torrentials. Now, as you can see, there's a couple big differences. I took out one of the Effect Veilers. I didn't want to have too many monsters in the deck, and I already feel like this is way too many. So I felt that dropping one Effect Veiler would be okay because you still have a high light monster count with Prisma. And I added Forbidden Chalice because we're not playing Chariot in this version. And I feel that Forbidden Chalice is a little better because it can boost your monster's attacks just in case, you know, you don't want them to die for some reason. But you can also just flip it to negate their effect. Stuff like that. So, Veiler may be a better spot than Chalice. You know, I'm still testing the deck, so I kind of like Chalice a little bit. I think it might be good. I took out Stratos completely. I do not like Stratos in GBs for the fact that I don't want to waste my normal summon on searching for a Prisma. I would rather have my normal summon be some sort of GB. I'd rather put a GB on the board or even a tour guide on the board to go bigger plays than that, because just summoning Stratos in this deck and searching for Prisma doesn't really do much. If you've got Hero Alive, you can't activate it per se. Say you don't have any more Prismas in the deck, like you summon, you know, you lose another Prisma to go off with a Hero Alive. I guess it's okay to go Hero Alive and then Stratos and then you get your search, but again, you're not really going any further than that. You're just summoning and then you're going to set back rows and pass, instead of being able to push for Gazaris first turn or summon a GB and tag out for another GB, or first turn Test Tiger plays or something like that. So I just feel Stratos messes with the flow of the deck personally. I just don't like Stratos in the deck. It's a good card, just not for me. Let's see. I added the Murmillo, of course. I love Murmillo. I find it's an amazing GB card. I don't see why you wouldn't play Murmillo. There have been times where I thought of citing another Murmillo just because. Obviously, the 3 tour guide, big change. I added the 2 Chalice. I cut Lance down to 2 just for spatial reasons, and I've got the Chalice in here. I may take Chalice down to 1 and then just put in a 3rd Lance again, because I feel that Lance might be better than Chalice over it. But again, just testing. I changed Call the Haunted to 2 instead of 3 and Compulse to 3 instead of 2. Reason being, double call is okay. I like to special summon things, but this deck doesn't have a lot of magic and traps, and it doesn't have a lot of monster removal and stuff like that. And with Exceeds so big right now, Compulse is just an amazing card, just a bounce for everything. It's a very good card. You can bounce your own cards. I think the first time I played this deck against somebody, I went Tour Guide Sangan. They did something, and I just compulsed my Tour Guide back to my hand. So then they had to deal with my Sangan, and I could Tour Guide again next turn. So, you know, I like it. Obviously, just kept the Solomon and kept the 2 TTs in. Both decks have refrained from playing Solemn Warning. Obvious reason you're playing Hero Alive. When I first started playing the deck, I actually kept the warnings in there and just tried to play around it. But I feel you don't necessarily need warning too much nowadays. It's too big of a hit on life points already, and having to pay half your life points to try to keep the deck going with Hero Lives it's devastating. You're gonna get smashed pretty fast if your life points are super low like that. But other than that, that's my deck and the OCG deck. I would love any critique that you guys would have, any changes to the deck. I would love to try to play this deck again in a regional or, you know, Gen Con or something like that, because I want to play GBs again, and I want GBs to be decent again. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please thumbs up. Please like my videos. Please tell everybody that watches YouTube videos. Please check me out. I know I don't have any subs, and I know my content's not amazing, and yada yada yada, but I'm trying. That's all I can say. So thanks, guys. Peace.